What if the reason you feel stuck in English is not because you are bad at it, but because you are right in the middle of growing?
Oh, wow, that is such an important idea.
Because a lot of learners think, this feels hard, so maybe I'm not good enough.
When actually, sometimes the hard part is the sign that your brain is doing real work.
Exactly. And that is what we're talking about today.
Welcome back to Daily English Loop. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Alex. This is the place where learning English feels calm, practical, and part of real life.
So, if English has been feeling heavy, frustrating, or just a little too hard lately, take a breath. This episode is for you.
Because today we're talking about something every learner goes through.
That moment when you want to give up.
The moment when you look at your notebook, your textbook, or your screen and think, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, yes, that moment is so real.
And it is not only about English.
Exactly. It can happen with any new skill. Language, music, cooking, editing, driving, anything.
Actually, I had that feeling recently.
Really?
Yes, I was trying to learn some new video editing software, and honestly, it was a mess.
Oh, no.
I clicked the wrong things, lost part of my work, got confused, and just sat there thinking, why is this so hard?
That feeling is the worst. Your brain gets tired, your patience disappears, and suddenly even small problems feel huge.
Exactly. And for a moment, I really wanted to quit.
I think every learner knows that feeling. Not just tired, defeated.
Yes, that is the word, defeated.
So let's start there. Why do people feel like giving up when learning English?
I think one big reason is that they think difficulty means failure.
Ah, yes, that is such a dangerous belief.
They think if this were right for me, it would feel easier.
But that is not how learning works.
Exactly. Learning often feels messy,
Slow,
confusing,
repetitive,
and honestly, a little annoying sometimes.
very annoying sometimes.
Definitely.
But hard does not mean wrong.
Right. Hard often means your brain is stretching.
I always think of it like exercise.
Me too.
If you lift something very light, you may feel comfortable, but your muscles do not change much.
Right. But when something feels heavy, your body has to work.
And that work is what creates growth.
The same thing happens with English.
Yes, if a listening exercise feels a little difficult, or you forget words, or your speaking feels slow, that does not automatically mean you are bad at English.
It may just mean your brain is in training.
Exactly. So the first big shift is this. Stop treating difficulty like proof that you cannot do it.
Treat it as proof that you are doing something real.
That is such a better mindset.
It really is. And I think learners need to hear that again and again.
Definitely, because when you're in the middle of frustration, it's very easy to become cruel to yourself.
Oh yes, that voice in your head starts saying things like, I'm too slow, I'm not smart enough, or I'll never get this.
And the sad part is, the more you say those things, the heavier learning feels.
Exactly. So maybe the next important question is, what should you say to yourself instead?
Good question. Maybe something like, this is hard, but that's okay.
I like that.
Or, I don't understand it yet.
Yet is such a powerful word.
It really is. I don't understand this feels like a wall. I don't understand it yet feels like a path.
Wow, that is really good.
Thank you.
So if someone listening feels stuck right now, the first step is not to panic.
Yes, and the second step is not to make the problem bigger than it is.
Exactly. Sometimes learners look at the whole mountain.
Grammar, vocabulary, speaking, listening, pronunciation, reading, writing.
And then, of course, they feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed is such an important word here.
Yes, it means you feel there is too much and your brain almost freezes.
So, what should someone do when they feel overwhelmed?
Make the task smaller, much smaller.
Smaller than most people think.
Yes. If 1 hour feels impossible, do 5 minutes.
If one chapter feels impossible, do one page.
If 1 page feels impossible, do 3 sentences.
That may sound tiny, but tiny is good.
Tiny is excellent, actually.
Because tiny tasks are easier to start.
And starting is often the hardest part.
Exactly. Once you begin, your brain relaxes a little.
So let's give some very real examples. If someone says, I have no energy for English today, what could they do in 5 minutes?
They could listen to one short podcast clip.
Read one short paragraph.
Review 5 words.
Say 3 sentences out loud about their day.
Or watch one short English video and just focus on the main idea.
That already counts.
Absolutely. It counts because the point is not to be heroic every day.
The point is to keep the language alive.
I love that phrase.
Me too. English does not need to be huge every day. It just needs to stay present.
Yes, small contact matters.
And this leads to another important idea. Consistency is more powerful than intensity.
100%. Studying 3 hours once a week can feel impressive.
But 10 minutes every day often works better.
Because daily practice teaches your brain that English belongs in your normal life. Exactly. It becomes familiar instead of dramatic.
That is such a good distinction.
Thank you. Now let's talk about another reason people want to give up: forgetting things.
Oh yes, that one hurts. You study a word today and tomorrow it feels gone.
Then you think, what is wrong with me?
But forgetting is normal.
Very normal. In fact, repetition is how memory gets stronger.
Right. Sometimes a word is not gone, it's just not ready yet.
I like that. You meet it once, then again, and finally it starts feeling familiar.
So instead of saying, I forgot it, so I failed, maybe say, okay, I have seen it once, now I need to meet it again.
That is such a healthier way to think.
I think learners also suffer because they do not notice small progress.
Yes, they only notice what they still cannot do.
They want fluent speaking,
A perfect accent,
fast listening,
big vocabulary,
and because they do not have all of that yet, they feel like they are failing.
but they forget to count the tiny victories.
Like understanding one new sentence,
Using one new phrase,
speaking with a little less fear.
or listening for 10 minutes without quitting.
Those are real victories.
Very real.
So maybe a better question is not, am I fluent yet?
But am I stronger than I was a month ago?
Exactly.
Did you understand something today that you could not understand before?
Did you say something today that would have scared you before?
That is progress.
It absolutely is.
Now, I want to talk about rest, because I think many learners misunderstand it.
Me too. A lot of people think rest means weakness.
Or laziness.
But actually, rest can be part of serious learning.
Yes, there's a huge difference between resting and quitting.
Quitting means you stop completely and walk away.
Resting means you pause, recover, and come back.
Exactly. If your brain is tired, forcing more input into it is not always helpful.
Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is close the book for the day.
Go for a walk.
Eat something nice.
Watch something fun.
Sleep.
Then come back tomorrow with a clearer mind.
That is not failure. That is strategy.
I love that.
Me too, because people need permission to breathe.
Definitely. And rest does not have to mean no English at all.
Right. Sometimes a rest day can still include soft English.
Like listening to an easy song,
Watching a light video with subtitles.
or hearing one episode of a podcast while cooking dinner.
English can stay in your life without becoming a burden.
That's so important.
I also think community matters here.
Yes, learning alone can feel very heavy.
But when you hear that other people struggle too, something changes.
You stop thinking, I'm broken.
And you start thinking, oh, this is just part of the process.
Exactly. That feeling of, I'm not the only one, is very powerful.
So if you are listening right now and feeling tired, please know this. You are not the only one.
Not even close.
A lot of learners feel frustrated.
A lot of learners cry over grammar.
A lot of learners forget words.
A lot of learners feel embarrassed when they speak.
And still, they improve.
Because they keep going.
Slowly, maybe,
Imperfectly, definitely.
but they keep going.
And that is what matters most.
Before we finish, I want to ask you one thing. When you had that terrible video editing day, what helped you calm down?
Honestly, first, I stopped.
Good start.
Then I made coffee, stepped away from the computer, and reminded myself that one bad day does not mean I cannot learn the skill.
That is such a healthy response.
I'm trying. And what helps you when you feel like giving up?
I usually do two things. First, I make the task smaller. Second, I remind myself why I started.
Ah, yes, the why.
That matters so much. If English is only a school subject, it can feel dry. But if English is connected to your future, your family, your confidence, or your dream life, then it has meaning.
That is beautiful.
And when something has meaning, you can survive the hard days.
I completely agree.
All right, let's do a quick recap before we go.
Good idea.
First, if English feels hard, do not assume you are failing.
Hard can mean your brain is growing.
Second, when you feel overwhelmed, make the task smaller.
Tiny steps count.
Third, do not ignore small progress.
Small wins are real wins.
Fourth, forgetting is normal.
Repetition wakes memory up.
Fifth, rest when you need to.
Resting is not quitting.
And finally, keep your reason for learning close to your heart.
Because purpose helps you continue.
So, if you have been feeling like giving up lately, here's the message of today's episode.
Pause if you need to.
Rest if you need to.
Slow down if you need to.
But do not disappear.
Do not give up on yourself.
You may be much closer than you think.
Now it is your turn.
Tell us in the comments what helps you keep going when English feels difficult.
Or tell us one small English win you had this week.
Even something tiny counts.
We'd love to read it.
And if this episode helped you, don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Loop.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
Keep going, keep growing, and keep being patient with yourself.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.